All right, what you're looking at is what I used to block this hat, give it the shape that it currently has. Now, just so you know, this is not going to be like a really pretty video. It's going to be more informative than anything. As a DYIer, I also use my own junk. Stuff that I have laying around the house, I try and figure out how to make it work. To be able to put this crease in these hats, because they look like this after a while. Let's see if I got a good view of that. Yeah, they look like that after a while. Okay, you can still hang them up, but anyway, this one was the better looking of the two. The other one was my absolute favorite, and it's going to go back to being that way here now that I've learned a couple of things myself. But I wanted this one to have a little bit of a dip in the front, a little bit of a pull in the back. All right, to be able to do this, to be able to pull that down, you have to be able to hold the edges down. So that's what this was for. I didn't want to use regular string. I wanted something that would hold up to the boiling water. We'll get to boiling water here in a minute. What I did is I took the string, I pulled it out double, I made it a size over the hat, and I tied it off. Now it slipped a little bit, but I keep this so if I have to reshape it, I don't have to go make another piece. All right, let me make sure. Yep, that goes on that side. So now this slides over like this, and the hat sat up like this. Now, when I put this on, this was tight. I had to steam it. When you steam it, it loosens up the felt. And when it loosens up the felt, all of a sudden nothing you did is doing anything worthwhile anymore. It's not the way you want. And also, when you get it wet, it has a tendency to want to notch. So what I did, I used to have an office, so this is one of those binders that you slide the papers into when you make a perspective. I cut some pieces on it, and I cut two different sizes so I remember which is the front and which is the back. And these were, as you can see, just the right size to be able to slide over this and protect it. Now, I took a lot of care to make sure that I was in the center of the hat. I took a lot of care to make sure I was in the center of the hat. Now, when I first started out, I could pull it tight, but as soon as it started getting, that's what these boxes are for. These boxes went in here like this to take up space. The problem I had was it wanted to pull this all the way down, which is why I used the ruler. And I took the ruler, and the ruler went right, I hope you can see that, the ruler went right underneath there, and you can see that's exactly where my dip is. Okay, so with that pulled down right there, I could steam it, I could pull it, and then I used other pieces as needed, pieces of cardboard, whatever, to keep this tight. And then you steam it. Now, when you steam something, and this is something I learned the hard way. I haven't done this since, I don't know, it's been 15 years since I attempted it last time. When you steam, you see that pot? That one that's starting to boil right now? That is the size you need. And it's very helpful. Let's see if I can move this over here. It's very helpful if you have a cover that's too big for it. The reason for that is that you can slide it back because you want the steam to come out one side. You don't want to lift that cap off there. Don't use the little one. You see the one back there? That's the one I used the first time. I steamed the hat 3 times before I figured out it just ain't going to stay where it is. It's not getting the coverage it needs. But I put it out there just so I can show you the example. You need a larger pot, and you need to let it boil. This has been started since I came in here and started trying to play with this stuff, so it's a minute. But it's essential to what you want to get done. You want to make your hat do what it does. Now, what happened as a result of this was I got a tremendous dip. I got a tremendous dip in the hat. Okay, the problem that I had was when I took this off, I had a buckle in my hat right here and right here because it pulled it in, but it buckled the hat trying to do it. So now I had to straighten that buckle out. All right, that's where this one came in. And this one went up and underneath the side right here, and then I slid the other underneath, but I didn't put it the same way. I just used it for a tensioner inside of it, so it round out the top of the hat and push over the sides right there, so that I could push these out. Now, that was the bottom. On the top, I made these pieces right here that fit, and I put these, one on the front, one on the back, and the string goes over those and then pulled this down. This pulled it down. This kept it from going anywhere. And it got steamed. Now, when it got steamed, and I don't really want to steam this right now, I'm about to play with a new toy. But that's what this did. Now, that's how I got the shape that I have. And I did that with just stuff that I have around the house. Now, good fortune says I invested $1. I paid, I don't know, $12, $13. And I got a hat stretcher. Now, it's well within my capabilities to go out. And in fact, that's what I was going to do, is just go out and cut the curvature of the hat, you know, kind of like it is. And then I was going to take one of my clamps that spreads and use it for a spreader, which is the same thing that this does. Oh, man, would have ruined a good hat. I didn't realize that there's a bevel to them. Never occurred to me until I saw these things. And it didn't occur to me right off till I put it in the hat. When you put them in the hat, they go in like this. Now, the only problem that I have left with this hat right here is that this hat has shrunk. It used to be too big, so I didn't wear it a lot. But when I did wear it, I was working outdoors at events. I was training people to sell at events, and it was hot out, and you know, summertime, that kind of thing, so you're sweating a lot. The moisture, the perspiration would cause this thing to shrink. I never thought you could stretch them out. I was actually contemplating, this is how these things work. You put it in there so it's kind of, you know, where it's tight. Now, I want it larger. Can you hear that? I'm stretching it just a little bit. Now, I know I've tried this on for size several times. The only thing left now is to get that size to stay. And that's what I'm doing right now. And then I'm going to show you an amazing thing with that hat. Because I thought that was shot. That was gone. I was never going to see it again. Let's see. Yep, my favorite hanging up there. Oh, that's a thought before I forget all about them. If you got a hat like this and you're going to carry them in a car, I got dogs. My hat touches a seat, it gets these all over them. I want to keep that from happening. I took just a regular coat hanger, and like I did with that one right there, it's just looped around the hat. Now, these are being made to go into the car so I can put my hats back in the car again. But you tip to one side. This side's got to come back a little bit more. But what it does is it loops the hat. So the hat actually just stays there on its own. I don't want to ruin the set that I've already put in it. Now, this is what I expect to have happen. Without trying, I'm going to try not to stick this thing in the boiling water, because what's going to happen is when it steams up a little bit, this is going to release. And that's going to relax, and this thing will then, if I don't watch it real careful, will pop out of there. So I'm going to try not to have that happen, because I don't think that would be a good thing. And I will invite you over to watch this steaming process. Hopefully invite you over to watch it. Hopefully you don't come over for a scalding. Now when I do this, I normally work on this side, so I pull it this way a little bit so my hands are not anywhere near where that flame is. and I don't want to burn anything. Now, when I first made that little band that goes around my hat to pull the ends down, when I first made that piece, I had to trim the ends off. I left them on there to begin with, and I thought, what's it going to hurt? And then I found it was hanging in the flame, and I was always afraid it was going to start on fire. So, anyway, ooh, and because I want to be cautious, and I'm going to do something I just told you not to do, because when I steam a hat, when I try to get these curves in there, then I take the hat and I hold it right here like this, and I let the steam out. Hopefully you can see that. I let the steam out to that part of the hat. And the steam goes straight up to that, and that's all I want to steam. Now I don't want that thing to pop out. So I'm going to do that. And we'll let some more steam out. Watch out, it's hot on your hands if you steam, because it comes right back at you again. I got to get a little damp, a little wet. You can see the perspiration on this thing already. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm blocking your view. I'm just holding it up over the crack right there. It's a little steam. Now, I'm going to close that up. And nobody's told me I should do this, but I want it a little wider. Oops, that's too slippery to grab. Let's see. I don't have a gripper. Well, let's grip it with my shirt. Now I knew it was just a little bit tight from all those things, so I just tightened it up. Just a smidgen more, and I'm going to give it another shot. Let's see, how does that look if I'm... Okay, let's do it this way. It'd be nice if you guys could see what I was actually doing there. It'd help me get burned or killed in the process. That'd be cool. Okay, this time I'm going to steam out the front, and then maybe you can see kind of what I'm doing. I hope I'm in a good angle for this. I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to let the steam come out right there. I'm going to hold the end down right here, so the steam has to go out that end. And I try and keep my fingers a little bit away from it, because I feel it on my knuckles right now. That is hot. I'm in the wrong place, that's why. Be over here. Now, enough of that. Cover it up again. I was in the wrong place. It's an awkward way to hold a piece. Okay, now I'm going to go here. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to catch your steam. We just want enough to make that warm. Okay, now let's see. Oops, wrong way, wrong way, wrong way. One way tightens, one way loosens. And I want it to be snug and tight. But now, I don't know if I got enough on there, so I'm going to steam the outside of the hat now. I'm going to try and chase that steam up around the brim. Okay, now I see it starting to do some odd things to me, and I don't want it to do. So I'm going to leave it alone, let it settle. So I don't want that to bow back up again. If I do, I'll have to steam it back down. Now, I'm going to leave that in until it's done. And then I want to show you something. I just learned it was amazing because my favorite hat up there, I wore that hat all the time till it shrunk so bad I couldn't get it back on. I actually thought about cutting off the outside leather piece and putting a new one on it, but so I could stretch that hat. And then I found you can actually stretch them out, and with all those little flops and stuff in it, when I put the hat stretcher in it, it comes out not with the bows that one has, but the ones it used to have. And I think I can steam that right back into contention. Anyway, we'll be back.